If you have ever studied computer science or programming, you'll probably experience the pain of writing code on the paper. For an exam, quiz, or whatever, you have to deal with the unbearable uncertainty of whether it will work or not. From that reason, I decided to create a Python project named Run on Paper. Also, unlike my other projects, I decided to develop it on the video, so you guys can see the whole process. Anyway, main goal of this project is to detect written code from paper and execute it. There are two main challenges with this project. First, recognition, and second, execution. I will go over them both while coding, so let's get started. First, we need to make sure that few things are installed. To recognize characters from the image, we need to install Tesseract, which is an optical character recognition engine. It will hold our main recognition logic. Also, in this project, we will be mainly focusing on reading and executing Java code because Java is generally the preferred starting language for beginners. So make sure that it is set up on your PC as well. Now, as you can see, I have PyCharm open right there. So let's create a new project and name it Run on Paper. Once that's done, we can go ahead and install necessary modules, which are OpenCV and PyTesseract. We use OpenCV to capture images and make basic image processing. We use PyTesseract as a middleware to connect with the Tesseract. So, now they both are installed, we can start coding. Let's create a new Python file named main.py. Inside that file, we add the necessary import statements. Import CV2, import PyTesseract, and finally import OS. We import OS because of the read-write operations that we needed to do. After we have done that, we have an optional line. If you defined your tesseract.exe under your environment variable paths, you don't need to add this. If not, add it, otherwise PyTesseract won't work. We are done with setting up our modules, now we are ready to capture from our webcam. To do that, we need to add this line. It will initialize the video capture. Then we enter an infinite loop and capture from the camera frame by frame. Notice that we have two parameters. One is ret and other one is image. Image is pretty self-explanatory. It is captured frame, and the ret is that frame was successfully captured or not, basically a boolean value. After we have captured our frame, we display it on the screen by using OpenCV's imshow method. Now things can get a bit different. At this point, we need to keep the captured frame or get rid of it. It is essentially a taking snapshot from live feed, so we implement this logic by taking an input. If that input is space, then we can use it. If not, a new frame should be displayed. Once we have picked our frame, we need to improve it so that Tesseract can detect characters much better. To do that, first we need to convert our image to RGB. Then we add a threshold, which you can think of it as black and white filter on applications like Cam Scanner. If you have taken a picture from a paper, it generally has a yellowish tint. This process turns that into pure white. Same also applies for darker colors as well. After that, we denoise the image since my webcam image quality is really poor. We do that by adding this line. Now our image is ready for recognition. Recognizing text in the image is really easy with Tesseract. All we had to do is call the method image_to_string. Then we pass our image as an argument. It will return the recognized text. By doing this, we are done with the recognition part. Now we can move on to the execution. In this part, what we need to do is grab the recognized text, write it into a Java file, compile and execute it. Well, that seems easy, so let's do that. First, we create and open up a Java file. We do that by using the open method. It takes two arguments, file name and mode. In our case, let's go with the W mode, which is basically overwrite the existing file if it has any content in it. You can also make it to append instead by passing the mode value as A. After we have created our file, then we can write it using the write method and pass our recognized text. That is pretty straightforward. Then finally we close the file stream. We have now finished the capture logic. Rest is actually pretty simple. We add quitting button, release the video, and destroy all windows. At that point, we can call our batch file, which we will be creating in a second. To call and execute our batch file, what we need to do is to use the OS module and use the system function inside that. It is as simple as that. Now we can create our batch file. Inside our batch file, we first add our status output by using echo. Then we add compilation method for Java, which is javac followed by our Java file name, main.java. After we do that, we can easily execute the compiled binary by using the command java followed by class name, which is main in our case. Now it should execute our recognized Java program. Also, on a side note, if you are on Linux or Mac, you can use shell script instead of batch script. It will make things much more easier. Anyway, now we can test our program. Let's run it and see if it works properly. As you can see, I do my best to write as bold and as clear as possible in order to make our program recognize. However, it is not enough. So I go ahead and print out the text, but it doesn't work properly as well. At this point, I probably need to improve the trait model by possibly training my own. But as for this video, to prove my point of execution, let's simplify our code. Just get rid of all the video capture stuff and make it accept only a single image that we provide to it. And as for the image, we open up our notepad, write the sample Java code and take a screenshot of it. Now let's try one more time. As you can see, this time it worked as it should be. Like I've mentioned previously, if we train a custom model for this specific application, the results would be better. Also, with the idea on our hand, we can do much more cool stuff like turning it into a mobile app and possibly adding an AR to display the execution on the paper as well. But improving, that is on you. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the new style. If you like it, please make sure to hit the like button and consider subscribing. See you next time. Take care.